Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And this week we are continuing the COVID story arc. This is now part 2 of that, hopefully the final part. So, well, I have mostly gotten over all the symptoms. I'm still pretty tired. So, I'm going to take it easy tonight, but it's still going to be fun. Tonight we're going to do Coxinha by request. And this is going to be very much a watch Rob try and learn something new. So you guys can learn with me. I looked into a bunch of different techniques and recipes. And there are some things we can do to show techniques in how we sort of develop this recipe. So that's the agenda for this evening. So I'm going to switch over to the food cam. And we're going to talk about, first of all, what is coxinha? You guys all want to know. It is Brazilian street food. It is it's basically, I don't want to say basically, that doesn't sound like it's going to do it justice. It's a chicken croquette, and it has a cute story behind it, which I only found like little bits and pieces of, but apparently some prince was on a ship somewhere traveling, and his favorite part of the chicken was the drumstick. And then eventually they ran out of drumsticks because they were on a ship. They had lots of chickens, but they ran out of drumsticks. So they created the coxinha, and you'll see when we do it, it's shaped like a little drumstick, and I guess the little prince was happy. So, cute story, can't complain about that. So obviously we're going to use chicken, and I looked at a whole bunch of different ways to make this recipe. There's a bunch of different versions, and I kind of picked what I thought was sort of the best of each. So we're going to use chicken breast, skinless chicken breast. I did see a couple of versions. Most of the versions I saw were breast meat. And I really want to, one of the things that's going to be a theme tonight, I guess, is we're going to look at ways of really creating flavor as we go through this recipe. So I think in retrospect, I had the chicken breast already. In retrospect, I think I would have got skin on chicken breast, or even a whole chicken. I'm going to try it like this. But the skin adds a lot of flavor to chicken. Now we're just going to poach it. We're just going to boil the meat and then shred it. So that's a whole other thing. But I think in retrospect, if I did this again, I would either get a whole chicken and then maybe brown the skin before I poached it. However, this is what we have now, and it's going to work fine. So 95% of the recipes I saw were just chicken breasts, and they're easy too. Like boneless, skinless chicken breasts are everywhere and easy to work with. So that's going to be that. Now they do get poached, which we're going to have to start soon so I was going to TV time this because, we're going to have to wait for the chicken to poach, but I thought, you know what, let's just do the whole thing live and see how it goes. So we're going to start on that right away, but I do want to go through the rest of the ingredients. Since we're going to be poaching the chicken, we want to save the liquid, because we have to make a dough, and we need liquid for the dough. So it makes sense to use the broth that we're going to have from the poaching the chicken in the dough. So since we know we're going to use it, let's punch up the broth flavor a little bit. And we're going to do that. I had a carrot, so we're going to use a carrot, and I had a leek. And we're going to use that, and probably throw in a couple of garlic cloves. And that's kind of it. I think those things will give our broth some nice flavor. Get rid of this. Okay. Any questions so far? It seems really straightforward. How could you guys have any questions? You don't even know what we're doing. And I'm going to talk about the other ingredients. Onions. There's onion in the filling. So the filling is basically chicken. It's a mix of different things, but onions is definitely. I saw red. I saw white. I had red onions, and I prefer them for flavor. So we're going to use that. Some of the recipes called for tomato sauce. Some didn't. And the ones that didn't just seemed a little bit plain. I think this is going to make for a nice color and like a more juicy, moist filling, which I think is going to be important. And we're also going to use a bit of paprika. This is a nice smoked paprika I got. We're going to use this to add a little bit of color, and also to add a smoky flavor to it. Now they are bread. Oh, the other thing too I couldn't find. I don't think it exists in Toronto, guys. The other ingredient in the filling, it's not in the filling, but it goes in when you make the coxinha, is Catupiry? Somebody's going to have to correct me if I got that wrong. Gubby, if you're watching, you probably know. But anyway, it is a Brazilian cream cheese. And you can make it at home, but I just wasn't... Hey, Paul, how's it going? I am feeling better. I'm just struck by like random bouts of extreme tiredness, but I'm definitely feeling better. Anyway, Catupiry is a Brazilian cream cheese. You can make it at home. It was too much for me to do on the stream. I didn't feel like boiling and curdling milk and doing all of that. So we're going to use Farm Boy cream cheese and cross our fingers. It'll still be good. I will, if I think of it, I will get back. We'll make Catupiry one day, or even just make cream cheese. But anyway, so we're going to use that. There's also parsley in the filling. That's pretty straightforward. And finally, breadcrumbs. So this is, of course, is breaded and fried, deep fried. We're going to deep fry it. Don't use panko for this one. Every recipe I saw said the finer the breadcrumbs, the better. So this was as fine as I can get. These are just like Italian, like regular old Italian breadcrumbs. And we're going to use those. Okay, so let's get moving because we've got a fair bit of ground to cover. So let's get the chicken going first. Actually, I can just leave that burner there. So we want some heat. And we're going to use this pot right here. And we're just going to lay these guys in like this. And they need to be covered with water. So we're going to start that right away. Rebecca, I thought of that. I could probably put them in the mini chop to get them like extra fine. But I'm going to just go... I've used these before for other things, and I think they are pretty fine already. So I think they're going to be okay. But yeah, you could put them in the mini chop. But I'm afraid, honestly, of just turning them into like powder. And I don't want a powder. So, as I said, we're going to punch up our broth here with just some leeks. And we're just going to like, hey, get back here. And this is just a rough chop. Probably enough. And throw those in. A really wide angle on the camera tonight. It's nice. Again, carrot. This is just for flavor. This is all going to get strained out. But it's just going to add a little bit of flavor. You could also maybe put a little bit of celery in here. Kind of like whatever you have in the fridge is fine. And now I have no idea how long that's going to take. So I'm going to bring it up to a boil here and then transfer it to the stove. And then we are going to start with the onions. So the order of operations tonight, if I've got this right, and the timing's going to be a little tricky, is we're going to do the chicken. We are going to saute some onion and cook it down for the rest of the filling. And then we're going to make a dough and somehow put these together. Everything's going to be too hot to touch. That'll be fun. We'll figure it out. Okay, so the next thing is get a burner going. For that, okay, I want this to come up to a boil here. So we're going to have time to chat tonight, guys, because this is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm not seasoning this broth with, although I could. I think we will. Let's go for a little flavor here. It can't be wrong to season this broth with a little salt, which will also season the breasts. Stop using a knife. Yeah, I don't often... This is interesting because I don't... Oh, Serena, that's like... That's supposed to be my line. Oh, groan. The pot is definitely leaking. Okay. Moving on. That's... cheers. That's worthy of a toast. Oh yeah, I wanted to throw a garlic clove in there too. So let's get that in there. Maybe two? Let's do two. And we're just gonna splatter these guys and toss them in. Okay, so now that we've got our broth going and our chicken breast is poaching, I figure that's gonna take, God, I didn't even know how long. We'll have to take the temperature. And then, so let's get an onion going. We need a, and I'm eyeballing these quantities, guys. I have no idea, like, how much of anything to use. but we're gonna figure it out. And this is part of it. Like, you know, you do these dishes. You do want to stay true to the original, so we're not going to do anything crazy. I did see some, and I really hate that kind of sometimes. Like, I saw some people on YouTube were like, "This is my version of it," and instead of this ingredient, I use this. Instead of this ingredient, I use this. Instead of the cooking time being this long, I switched it to this. And at some point, it stops being the dish. I'm not a fan of that, but. I guess it works for some people. I think that you need to do the original. Oh, these onions are strong. You need to do the original first before you start messing with it, right? So we're just going to dice up this onion. This is just killing my eyes. This is the one time I don't wish we had some way to transmit smell. Wow. Okay. Is that going to be enough onion? I don't know, actually, because there's going to be a lot of chicken. Let me think about that. Okay, so this can go over to the stove temporarily. Oh, excuse me, guys. Wow. And we're going to have to get another pan going for the onion. Okay, what do you guys think? Here we go. Rebecca, that's a good question. Rebecca's asking if it's technique or ingredients that makes it a new dish. You know, it's almost like, it's almost like cover songs for music. To my thinking, there's two ways to do a cover song. There's two ways to do a cover song. You either do like a tribute and do it very close to the original, and pay homage to the original song, which is fantastic. Like, if you ever get a chance to check out, Pink does an amazing version of Me and Bobby McGee. They were going to do a Janis Joplin movie, and they were going to cast Pink, but it never happened. But she recorded a version of Me and Bobby McGee, and if you close your eyes, you can't even tell. It sounds like Janis, and it's just phenomenal. But the other way to do a cover is to completely reinvent it and make it your own and put your own spin on it. And I think that's valid as well. And I think cooking's the same. There's a channel I follow on YouTube. I can't remember the name of it. Italia something, or it's all in Italian, but they go to various Italian chefs around Italy, and so typically the episode is like, the chef will show you the traditional, how it's done, how Nonna does it, and then there'll be their version, or how the restaurants have updated it. So I think it's both technique and ingredients. For example, like, what was one of the updated ones that I saw? It was for, actually, when I was doing the carbonara research, one of the chefs, so for a technique, in order so that the eggs didn't, yes. Oh, you guys are killing me. Sorry, now I lost my train of thought. Oh, with the carbonara, one of the techniques that he did to keep the eggs from curdling is he continued to cook the pasta in the egg mixture over a bain-marie, like a double boiler, which of course isn't the original technique, but it actually works quite well. So I think the answer is both. At some point, it becomes a different dish, especially if you add an ingredient. You know, if you modify an ingredient. Again, going back to the carbonara, I saw one chef who carbonara is traditionally all pecorino, and they modified the cheese mixture. They included grano padano, which is like a young parm, so it's not quite as strong. And that was just, he said that was to suit like the more modern palate. People didn't want that huge punch of salty cheese flavor. So people, people's tastes change as well. So I guess the answer, Rebecca, is both. Okay, let's get back on to whatever we're doing. I'm going to put some garlic in with the onion too, for the filling. So let's get that going. I think tonight I'm going to be lazy and just run this through the garlic press. I would normally mince. Actually, that's not true. I wouldn't normally mince this. I'd normally do exactly this. That's probably enough. Garlic's just kind of an accent here tonight. Okay, so now let's get this onion cooking as well. I can move the printer. It's cool. Rebecca, I didn't say. I have no idea how long to poach the chicken. I'm going to take the temperature in just a couple of minutes, and we'll see. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to just saute up the onion here. Get a little oil going. And just fire that right in there. So the reason we're not doing the dough yet is, of course, I just said this. We're going to use the stock or the broth that we're making as the liquid for the dough. So the dough is really interesting. It's basically a pâte au choux. It's like a cooked butter and flour and water dough, which will be interesting to do. I have no idea how we're going to cool it in time to actually use it, but we'll figure that out as we go. Do you guys think that's enough onion? We got like 2 entire chicken breasts. I'm kind of feeling like that's not enough. I'm going to do another onion. Let's get another onion in there. So my brother Paul, who's watching tonight, has joined the YouTube ranks, the creator ranks, and he has an interesting channel. He just started. I think it's just a couple of videos up, but it's just Make It Work, which is his name right now, and he has a good one up already, so it's kind of fun to watch. I don't think that's enough. That seems better to me. A bit better with that. Don't want the garlic in just yet. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. That looks better. I do want advice. Okay. You think this is too much onion, Spencer? This is just there's a lot of chicken going in here. This is 2 small onions. I think this is going to cook down. We'll see. I can always take some of the onion out if you think it's too much. All right. I don't know how. Well, there you go. So the person who requested has spoken. I think this is about right. I'm just eyeballing this and seeing when I get the actual chicken going. But I feel the same way about a lot of things, Gabby, and we're going to go with your instinct on the onion. How long do you think that chicken's been in? All right, let me get a temperature reading there. All right, well, we're definitely not done yet. Those are only like 110 in the middle, so yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that, Spencer. I'm looking at my, slow this down a little bit. I'm looking at my little thing of garlic here. I'm thinking that's not good enough. Let's pop another clove in there, eh? Even that, just you know what? This just doesn't look like enough. You guys have got me. And this is one of the things. This is why it's so important, to learn techniques and to not experiment. Well, it is kind of experimenting, but you develop a sense just by looking at things in quantities of an idea of like what's enough and what's not. So, see, look how much the onions have reduced. God, now I feel like we should have another onion. Oops. but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I think that's enough onion. So I'm gonna let those sit until we get our chicken ready. And then we're gonna go to that. So we're gonna have time to chat, guys, because this is gonna take a little bit. Has already? No, I don't want to ask. What do you guys want to see next? We can talk. You know what? We normally talk about this again. Let's talk about it now, because now that I finally crossed Coxinha off the list, so to speak, we're wide open for ideas. So if you guys have anything you want to see, let me know. I never get tired of doing Italian, as you know. I never get tired of doing street food, so we can do that. Or anything in between. Anything in between. And I'm just checking my chicken here. Let's see. Okay, we're getting closer. Chicken's going to be, it's almost done actually. There's a couple of cool spots in the chicken, so I'm not doing flat iron steak carne asada, Spencer. It's wonderful for that. In fact, I think we even did an episode on it. Just slice it thin, salt and pepper, grill the hell out of it, and eat it in a tortilla. It's amazing. Yes, I know, but I'm kind of like Rebecca. I'm kind of a little bit not in speed mode, but I do want to get it. I do want to get it going because I need the liquid. And I'm actually okay with the liquid reducing a little bit and intensifying the flavor because I only need 2 cups of liquid for the dough. So having it a little more intense is going to be fine. Yeah, that'll be great. I'm pretty sure the carne asada episode is on YouTube, so you can go back to watch that one. Or I can just send you the recipe. I think it's in a little blue book, actually. Okay, so one of these guys is not cooperating, and we're going to solve that problem right now. So this is a big ass fat chicken breast, and it is not cooperating in terms of cooking time. As you can see, it just got that like one little cool spot in the center, which is driving me crazy. So we're just going to split it in half, and that'll be done in like 60 seconds. Let's just double check this guy. And this one is almost done as well. It's just this one will be done in a minute too. Okay, great. So we're in good shape. I figure what do you guys figure? 99 seconds? I think 99. Ooh, that's hot. 99 seconds. Go. No, don't turn the microwave on. My microwave is basically like a giant timer that occasionally heats up coffee. Okay, so we got our garlic in here now. Yeah, but look, it's not a lot of onion. Like, I get it, guys, but it's cooked down. I mean, the smell for sure. It's like cutting it was killer. Let's add a little seasoning to the onion, actually. Okay, so we're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, the onion was really strong tonight. Don't think I need this right now. Actually, probably won't need that. Okay, guys. I feel that it's almost ready. This is probably ready now. So what we're gonna do is take the. So this is Oh, you guys can't see this. This is gonna be fun. Let's see how this goes here. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't have the clock set on mine either. You know, we used to joke about my mom, because she had, you know, she has like back in the day, like DVDs and VCRs and whatever, and my wife's in her stove, and we always used to joke that she lived in flashing 12 o'clock land because she just couldn't set the timers on any of her stuff. Okay, so this is going to be neat. I don't know if you guys have seen this little trick before. So we have to shred the chicken, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it in the stand mixer because I don't have the patience to shred this by hand tonight. So the chicken pieces go in the stand mixer like this. Ooh, hot. Ow, shit. Okay. Hopefully this... Come on. Oh, it's not plugged in. Why isn't this plugged in? Oh, reach. Yeah, so you guys can watch that as it shreds the chicken. Don't go crazy on it. You do want, you know, you do want some texture. We don't want to mash. And then we're going to strain our broth over here. Don't need this anymore. And hopefully I have about 2 cups. I'll see you in a sec. And I have exactly 2 cups. That's hilarious. Okay, everything's coming up Millhouse. Not gonna spill that. Let's look at our chicken here. Okay, and I feel like that's the right texture. So, there's a couple of big pieces here. It's really hot. I don't want it too fine, but this texture looks pretty good. Renegade carrot. So now we're gonna cool this a little. Okay. I am watching the chat at the same time. And I'm gonna spread this out a little bit. I'm gonna just pop this in the freezer while we work on the dough. And it'll be a little easier for me. And just gonna on the stove. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm working this out as we go. A little bit. Okay. Any questions as we like rip through all this stuff? That can go out of the way. So let's get on the dough. The dough's going to be fun. We need the burner back and put this front and center now. So the dough is very much like a pâte au choux. We're going to take a pot. We're going to take a pot. Which pot are we going to take? We're going to take this pot. Get some heat going. And our broth. And this is about, so I got 2 cups of liquid here, and this is about 4 ounces of butter. I saw in my research anywhere from like a tablespoon to like a 1/4 cup. Hey Penny. Oh, I'm not proud of this. It's a Spanish, it's called, I don't even know what it is, Verdejo. It was in the fridge. It's just a wine I'm not embarrassed to throw ice in tonight. Oh. Simple pleasures tonight. Middle of this is garlic. Okay, so this can go there, and I need something to stir up the, what should we call it with? It's going to be this. Okay, so as I said, yeah, that's what I think too. Um, Lost my train of thought, guys. Oh, yeah, sorry, the butter. I saw everything from a tablespoon of butter to like a stick. And I kind of picked something in the middle. I feel like you can't use too much butter. So I erred on the side of a lot of butter. And we're trying to boost flavor here, right? So we're going to melt our butter. I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit. There we go. Now I got 2 cups of flour. So generally for a pâte choux, and hopefully for this dough, it's basically a 1-to-1. So I got 2 cups of liquid, I got 2 cups of flour. I'm going to incorporate this a little bit at a time. Don't just dump the whole thing in. If I really wanted to know the exact ratio, I could grab my copy of Professional Chef and weigh it out properly, but I'm going to eyeball this. I know what consistency it's supposed to be, and so will you in a second. But this needs to cook, so this is the way this dough works, is we're going to, when you get a workout doing this, I got the heat up too high. Okay, there we go, there we go. But we do need to cook this. This needs to, because you got to cook out the flour, so that it doesn't, raw flour does not taste good. So this is going to take a couple of minutes, but I'm already really happy. Whoa, that's hot. So don't touch the edge of the pan. Not good. Yeah, Penny, we didn't do a cocktail tonight. Honestly, I didn't even look for Brazilian cocktails because I finally, like, in the early days of stream, my bar cart just got so huge from all of the spirits I was buying to do different cocktails. And I'd been paring it down, and I was afraid. I knew if I researched Brazilian cocktails, I'd be at the LCBO buying something or some things exotic, etc., etc. So I was like, yeah, just not going to do that this time. Okay, this dough is an amazing consistency. So yeah, so 1-to-1, definitely definitely the way to go. We do want to cook this another couple of minutes though. I'm actually going to take this out and knead it a bit as well. And then again, we have to figure out some way to cool this enough so that I can actually work with it. Get back in there. Oh, Pete's sake. Not that he's watching. Oh. Yeah, it's actually Play-Doh is kind of like the exact consistency you want. Maybe a little, like warm Play-Doh. Like, when Play-Doh gets warm, it's a lot more pliable. Oh, it is a workout. But I still want to go a little bit more here. Get our flour nice and cooked, but really pleased with the way this is going. Almost, guys. Any questions about the dough? I mean, this is a very straightforward recipe. We captured all our flavors. Worked with a nice broth, which is going to be really nice in the dough. I'm going to put the parsley in the filling. I did see a couple of recipes where they actually put parsley in the dough as well. I'm not going to do that. Partly because I forgot to chop up parsley. What is that? Oh, it's just like a hard bit of flour or something. Okay. Whew. Work it in half. I think this is good to go though. So let's get this into a ball. And get it out of the pan. And on to something. What? Let me just do a little cleanup here, guys. I don't want to dump this raw out on the counter, so let's put it on the cutting board. There we go. That's for tomorrow. Ooh, that's really it. So there you go. There's our dough. And it is really hot. Woo. But we do want to work it a bit. So we're going to I would normally, guys, like, don't rush this part. You can let it cool a little bit. But it does need to be worked a little. Let's try a little, like, a little cold water on my hands, maybe. Yeah, I don't recommend this, especially if your hands aren't accustomed to higher temperatures. This is not something I would do. But it's going okay. Garlic skin. This is going to work out nicely, I think. And you know what, guys? I'm glad we didn't TV time this, because I was thinking about that. I was going to do the chicken in advance, but then I would have had to do the dough in advance, and then I just would have been like assembling it in front of you, and that's okay. But it's more important that you see the whole process. Okay, I kind of feel like that dough ball looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Everybody happy with that? I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now let's, wow, it's hot. I think that's good. Okay, so that can go there. And let's pop that in the freezer and get the chicken out, see where the chicken is. Okay. You know what I need is, like, I have a microwave that I never use for making things hot. What I need is a macrowave that will, like, speed cool things. I'm sure that's a thing. Okay, I'm just going to shred out a couple of larger bits here. But that looks pretty good. So let's get this mixed in with our onion and see what kind of texture we have here. Or not texture, kind of see what the mix is. I'm just going to mix it up here. What did I do with my, there we are. Okay, so the filling, we've got our onion and garlic, and chicken, and that's about the right amount of onion. I think we got the onion right. Now I do want to chop some parsley in here as well. Also, let's season it. So we're going to put a little bit of pepper in there. And of course some salt will help. And let's do the parsley. So we're going to get some parsley in there. Oh. Let's get back. I think I like parsley to taste. How do you guys feel about parsley? Oh, the other thing too is I wanted to add a little paprika for color. Oh, and the tomato sauce. Okay. As I said, we're learning as we go here. So I'm not going to put the parsley in just yet. We're going to put this back on the heat real quick. And we are going to add a little bit of paprika. With a spoon, or my hands will be red forever. Pro Parsley House. Okay, well I feel like I got a lot of parsley there, Sabrina, so I think for parsley we're good. And there we go. I think that's about right. And a little bit of this. So this is just, or this is our Italian fusion element. This is just passata. But I do think about half the recipes I saw had this. And honestly, I think the half that didn't were doing like kind of a quick and dirty version. Because I really think this is going to make the texture a lot nicer, more appealing to eat. A little moisture, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. And I do like the color. I do like the color. You guys can see that okay? So what do you think? Is that enough? Is that moist enough? I think we could do a little more tomato. I think we can do a little more. We don't want to go crazy. It's not a tomato sauce. We're not doing chicken parm or something like that. Yeah, there we go. And you guys can't feel what I'm feeling right now, but as I said, you develop a sense for when things are at the right texture and consistency. And even just like that last little bit of tomato sauce that I put in, just loosened everything up. It's almost like a pulled pork. So let's go for the parsley, for the rest of our color, and as Marina said, you can't really use too much. This can come off the heat now, and we have our filling. Okay, so there's the color, guys. This is our filling. Got the nice red, some nice green, and we're good to go. Okay, now I gotta do a little cleanup, because even for me, this is getting a little out of hand here. Also, I just need some space to work, you know, like garlic, breadcrumbs, don't need the paprika anymore. Everything's off there. Deep fryer is on. Okay, we're good. We're good. Feeling good about this. Don't need the knife anymore. Now we can start. Let's see how hot that dough is still. But we can actually start assembling these, and we're gonna eat soon. It's nice. Any questions? I'm moving a little fast, I feel, tonight, but honestly, it's just because I had no idea how long this is going to take, right? So I don't want everybody to be here all night. I mean, I'll be here all night because, like, I live here, but you know what I mean. All right. Yes, the dough is still hot. What's the difference between poaching and boiling? Gubby, there is no difference. Poaching is boiling. When you poach, normally when you poach something, you have the water at a simmer. So you boil pasta because you keep it at a rolling boil. But for example, like eggs, you poach eggs and the water's barely simmering. And one of the reasons you do that with eggs, of course, is because if you dump an egg in boiling water, you're just going to blow it into a million pieces. So poaching and boiling are both cooking with water at the boiling point. Poaching, I guess, is just a little more gentle. All right. So now is moment of truth, guys. Gotta see if I can put one of these together. And I was hoping this cream cheese would be like a little creamier. We'll figure that part out as we go. Catupiry, like it comes in a tube you can squeeze out, which would have been handy. So let's see if we can get one of these together. We're gonna do is bread it up and the eggs and the thing. We'll do that in a sec. Okay, wish me luck, guys. Hopefully this isn't like a hand-pulled noodles thing. So, actually, you know what? What do we do that was just like this? Even just doing this, I'm like remembering something. Do you bake? No, they get deep fried, Rebecca. What did we do? Where we like put the? Oh, it was just the arancini. This is this is a croquette, right? This is the size I'm going with. It's about the size of my palm. I'm basically just basing this off my arancini experience, which is also limited. And we're going to take some of this filling. Is that enough? Arancini, Gubby, arancini is the same, very similar to this, except the filling. What do we fill the arancini with, guys? I forget. The filling's like a ragu, and instead of dough, it's you know. Okay, I don't need to explain. Oh, arancini, I get it. Sorry, I am catching up to the chat. Yes, Gubby, you were exactly right. It was the arancini thing. So I'm gonna stick in like a little bit of the cheese here. It's pretty tasty. And we're gonna we're gonna try and like knit this guy up. I'm kind of doing it like, so it is supposed to end up like a dumpling, or not a dumpling, a drumstick. So I'm kind of bringing it up to the top. Give it a little roll for shape here. And pinch it close. I'm almost doing this like gyoza, you know, like I'm sealing it, like you kind of like stitch the seam. Rebecca, it's not wrong actually, and I saw a couple of people doing exactly that. The reason I'm not doing that is I'm not going to make all of these tonight, and I didn't want to mix the cheese in with the chicken. It just makes it a pain in the ass to keep, like to preserve it. So, okay guys, this is my very first coxinha, and I mean, it looks like a drumstick, right? I don't know. That's one. I think I'm going to make about 4 of these and fry them up, and then I'll do the rest later. I think that was the right amount of dough. Like, I kind of feel like this is the way to go. Any questions? I mean, I don't know how I would answer any questions because I'm kind of doing this for the first time too, but I can give you a rough idea what's going on. Okay, I do know that I want the cheese in the bottom this time. That's going to be easier. For me anyway. And that's too much filling. I think that's about right. So unlike the arancini where we put like a dough cap on it, or a rice cap, like we did the palm thing, this one has to be like brought up around the filling. And I'm just sealing it up a little bit at a time, poking it in. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's going okay. Give it a little pinch at the top. I'm not too worried about the parsley sticking out the sides because it's going in the deep fryer anyway. I do know that you don't want your dough, it's a fine line. You don't want your dough super thick because, well, that will keep the filling from bursting out, which is a plus. You're basically going to be serving like a giant fried dough ball. It's probably not your goal. Okay, so let's give this guy a roll, maybe. Make sure the filling's out, sticking out. I don't know, I mean, it kind of looks like a drumstick, right? The dough is finally cooling down just a little bit. This may be too. I'm going to make one that's a little bit bigger just to see how that goes. So this is, you can see this is a bigger piece than the first one we did. I definitely think doing the cheese first was right. And then, by the way, if you're doing this for people that you don't live with, don't lick your fingers while you're filling them. Okay, Gabby, that's good to know. I feel like the pointy teardrop shape is probably a skill thing, because I'm telling you, like, as I'm doing this, it's tricky, and I don't think I'm at the. I also saw like a couple people make like pointy teardrop ones, and I just don't think I have the technique down enough yet. But we can try and do a pointy teardrop. Why not? Like, so this one was bigger. This is already easier, guys. Working with a bigger piece of dough. This is definitely the best one yet. And it's kind of like, is that a pointy teardrop? It's teardrop-ish. Hopefully that's not a leak. Hopefully that's just something poking through. Okay, and I'm going to do one more. Let's do one more. Again, this one's going to be a slightly larger one. And then the other nice thing is, since everything's cooked, we don't have to worry about how long to deep fry them. We can just brown them up, right? Outside. Wow. Okay, it's hot in the bottom. Hot in the bottom. I'm gonna try to sneak a little more filling in there. Maybe a little more even. That's too much. Okay. Pushing my luck here. It's kind of what I do sometimes. Let's see. And you just kind of bring the edges up. It's hard to explain. Like, this is, when you guys do this for yourselves, it's actually kind of intuitive. It's kind of hard to explain what I'm doing here, but you just work it up to the top and pinch as you go. If you've ever done gyoza or any kind of like half moon shaped dumpling, it's very, very similar technique where you kind of like stitch up the sides. Okay, well, this one's definitely more pear-shaped. So here's something, guys. Here's a technique where you actually want things to go pear-shaped. It's normally a bad thing. If anybody wants to look up the origin of that phrase, I would love to know right now. Origin, like, because when you say things go pear-shaped, that's a bad thing. Why? Okay, I'm just gonna do 4 because I'm getting hungry. And I know Serena is too, and I don't want to be doing this all night in front of you guys. So now, let's go and... so they get an egg wash and breadcrumbs. Two eggs. Breadcrumbs. About that many, that much. I mean, that many breadcrumbs is wrong, but it's also weird because it's probably like 10,000 breadcrumbs. Potters? Oh, okay. I actually think I knew that. There you go. Thank you, Garrett. Okay. So, what do you think, guys? Let's do it, right? Am I gonna should I put them just down all at once? I think I will because the deep fryer can handle it, and that way I can just serve them all at once. So they get egg. I also saw, in terms of the dredge, I saw people do this in egg. I saw them do it in milk, and I saw them do it in a combination of the two. But I'm gonna go with straight up egg because to me that will be the richest flavor. But, you know, you can experiment and kind of do it any way you want. There's no Coxinha police, I'm sure. And once again, like there is a wet hand, dry hand technique for this, which I've already screwed up. But whatever. We're just doing a few of these. Anyway, they look kind of good. I'm happy so far. These ones are definitely the larger. And apparently the size can be anything from like a little bite-sized morsel to like a big thing like this. So there's no, you know, accepted or standard size, which is fine. All right, so that's pre deep fryer. You guys can see them okay? Yeah, so there you go. I mean, they look good. So let's get them in the deep fryer. Let's do them like 2 at a time. I'm sure you could probably fry these in a pan, but honestly, these are so big and round, the deep fryer just makes sense. Okay, and a little cleanup here. Yeah, you know what, Gabby? I think you're right, because I don't know if you were around for the, oh, sorry guys. The spaghetti with meatballs one that we did. It was pretty recently actually, and the secret apparently to that is like really tiny meatballs, which take forever to make. But it was delicious. It was so much better than like the big American style spaghetti meatball thing. Which I don't like. It made a huge difference. So, okay. I didn't set a timer. I'm gonna set a timer. Figure what 3 minutes and 33 seconds is about right. We don't need plates in the oven tonight because get back here. But we do need plates. I don't have plates in the oven, obviously, because I feel like these are going to come out of the deep fryer ripping hot. Yeah, so it was a revelation to me, Gubby. I had never seen it done that way before. And I will tell you, like, rolling it, and they were like, the meatballs were like tip of your thumb size. And it was a bit of a pain rolling out like so many. But in the sauce and in the dish, it was delicious. And it was just like, you got the right amount of meat in every dish, and it was just fun. Okay. I'm just going to bite into it, but I think I'll take Serena a knife and fork. Because these are going to be hot. I'm just checking on him here. Okay, so I'm actually going to take these. I'm going to give them just a more second. So my deep fryer, guys, is I can't control the temperature, which is normally fine. If I was deep frying these and I could control the temperature, I'd be doing them at like 330 degrees, not 380. So they're cooking quite fast. And the only disadvantage is for things like Coxinha, is the breadcrumbs on the outside are going to they're just going to overcook. Okay, I can hear them. They're like ripping hot. Give me a sec. They're going to overcook before before the inside's sufficiently warm. But I still think that these are pretty good. Okay. Shit. Really hot. So the other thing too is the dough has to cook. Has that been long enough, guys? I don't know. I think before I serve, I'm gonna like dig into one. So I guess we're experimenting, guys. I make no apologies for this. This feels done. I'm just trying to judge the dough doneness. Should I just bite into it? Should we just see? Here we go. It's really hot. Not quite. Really good. Okay. Give me a sec. So the dough is almost cooked through. It probably needs another minute or two. So I think the outsides are just going to get dark. It was actually almost... I don't know if you guys can see. So these were down for like 90 seconds, almost 2 minutes. And the dough is almost cooked all the way through. The dough even might be a bit thick. It's really hard to do these, like wrap them up thin. It's really tasty. I don't know what will happen if I drop this guy back. Let's just see. Ooh, hot. So definitely the cooking time is going to be, depending on the temperature of your oil, it's going to be at least 3 minutes. And the crumbs are just going to get dark, guys. There's nothing I can do about that. And I did see one recipe that called for panko, which would partially solve the dark breadcrumb thing. But every other recipe I saw called for really fine breadcrumbs. So I'm going to go with the wisdom of the masses. Is that even a thing? Might be. Okay. Okay. Let's get them out. Yeah, and so they're quite dark at this point. Ooh, those are Serena's. Get over there. Ooh, ow, shit. Okay, so at least the filling didn't spill out of this guy. We're going to taste that in a sec. They're definitely done now. Give me one quick sec, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just going to deliver this over to Serena. All right, I have returned. And let's get the food cam back on. There we go. Okay, so now these are significantly hotter. But maybe I'll just bite into it. Yeah, okay, now we're done. Look at that. It's hot. Really hot. So you can see the color inside. Got a nice red, and the parsley's still green, and these are delicious. Wow, really good. I think. Oh, it's very good. I'm really tasting the paprika. It's not overly overpowering, but I think I would use a little bit less next time. But wow, they're tasty. Hot. So, it's a really, excuse me, a little bit hot. It's also a really nice texture. And it's actually holding together. No, definitely not too much onion. Definitely not. You can get the onions there, but it doesn't taste oniony at all. Oh, good. And it's easy to eat. I can see why this is a huge street food, because you can just grab this and eat it. And fried dough, right? Like, how can you go wrong? Even just the dough by itself is amazing. So, wow. Definitely let it cool for a sec. So this is the first shot, guys, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I think the seasoning is dead on. I do think that, I like paprika, and this is a wonderful smoked paprika I have. I think I might do a little bit less next time. Oh, there's the cheese. I forgot about the cheese at the bottom. Yeah, it's delicious. And the coating, I think next time I do these, I'm going to switch cameras here. I think next time, actually I want to show you guys. This is still, Rebecca, I'm not sure, because the filling is nice and warm, and the cheese is a really nice molten temperature. So I don't think you'd want your filling cold. I think room temperature would be fine. I think if I did this again, I wouldn't use my deep fryer. I would heat the oil to around 330 degrees and let them cook longer. This is cooked through. It could be cooked a bit more, I think. But wow, taste is amazing. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. Obviously, I've never had these, but I'm really pleased with the flavor and the texture. The chicken is nice, and as I said, I think the tomato sauce is definitely right, because this filling is still really moist, and the chicken is a really nice texture. Oh, Pretty happy, guys. I gotta say. And done in under an hour, which, to be honest, is pretty good for a figuring things out stream. And no TV time. Wow. Yeah. Very happy. This would be amazing party food. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, but really happy with the way it turned out, guys. I'm gonna split this guy entirely in half, just to show you guys what one looks like. Just a cross section, I guess, if you will. Let's just see what he looks like. And there you go. Yeah, let's get a clean plate here. Hold that up. But yeah, this is this one's actually better cooked. It's cooked all the way through. Filling. I don't know. I would have to try the real thing. Not that this isn't the real thing, but you know what I mean. I might try and make my dough a little thinner, but I'm not sure. It feels right. Like the dough to filling ratio feels about right. So somebody who knows more than me about it can let me know. What do they say? Drop a comment in the thing below. I never do that. Nobody ever comments, but that's fine. We do this live, so you guys don't have to do that stuff. But there you go. Any other questions? I'm going to wrap this up soon. I'm quite frankly running out of gas a little bit tonight. But it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys and doing this for you. So I'm going to hang around for like hang around for a minute. If you have any questions, now is the time. And it seems also like everybody has a different delay, because we did this experiment before where I clapped on screen and asked you guys to respond, and most people are like responding almost right away. But I noticed when I took Serena's portion into her and look at her screen, what she's watching, she's like, I'm still on screen putting them on the plate. So there you go. Oh, okay, well, I just scooped all the filling out. Okay, guys. Oh, let's talk real quick. Did we talk about next week? Did somebody throw us? You guys threw in suggestions. I'll pull them out of the chat. Yeah, I'll think of something for next week. Or somebody who knows me can shoot me a request. But I want to say a shout out to Gubby for suggesting this. This was really fun. I'm sorry it took 2 or 3 weeks to get to it, but that's COVID, and that's just the way things go. So everybody have an amazing night. Love doing this for you guys. I'll see you next week for whatever we happen to do. So, good night, guys.